Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be going over the Echo ranking of 2022. It is for Smash Ultimate of course, and it has the top 100 players of the entire year. And this is just very cool. There's so much detail in here, very well made. Please, there will be a link in the description to the Echo ranking article that we're going to be looking at here for a bit. We're going to be focusing mainly on this top 100 page of course, but we're going to be using some stuff from the article just to show like the amount of work that has been put into this is absolutely unreal. Again, shouts to Kaneki. It's just so cool. And let's just get right into it with something that I want to take a look at that just it caught my eye immediately. So something I want to look at specifically is just this little chart here that shows how players did at gold events, silver events, bronze events. This is basically just like smaller events, like maybe like smaller regionals. This will be your national regionals, and this is like your majors and your super majors. And then we have Spargo doing the best. So Spargo, if you don't know, he is ranked 1 on this list, which we will get to. It's very interesting, but he is ranked number 1, and he is number 1 in gold, 8 in silver, and 6 in bronze. Leo is 3 in gold, 2 in silver, 3 in bronze. Aquila is 2 in gold, 10 in silver, and 21 in bronze. So he is the 21st player in the world ranking with bronze, and I think it shows like how important majors really are for this, because we have someone like Kurama who is 349th in silver, but they're still 13th at majors, so they are going to get that top 15 spot, which is super deserved. Kurama had an amazing season, and I think this is just like, it's just really cool to see. And there's an entire article about this. Like, they'll go into breakdowns of certain players with spots are maybe weird. I think they do Tilde versus Masa. We have Didi here, who didn't have a lot of results, but they explain his positioning. This is just really cool. Again, a link to the article will be in the description, but of course we wanted to focus on that top 100 list, and let's just get right into that right now. Something I forgot to mention that I'll probably just throw in here at some point. This is made by Darknut Stats on Twitter. Please go follow them because they make some really cool stuff. Like a lot of people in Smash right now, we have a lot of amazing content going around. It makes me so happy. But we have 6 Stave players in the top 100, 5 Samus and Rob players, 4 Snake, Ness, and Roy players, and then the rest you can just kind of take a look at. The most interesting picks to me are 3 Shulks, which is like, for the amount of people that say that character's too hard, not that good enough at that top level, there's a lot of them. Like 3 is a pretty decent amount. It makes sense that Steve is the best character in the game, so he has the most slots. But also, something to consider is this is only mains. And I'm pretty sure for this list, like we have Abadongo, he plays Samus, he's not his main. We have Rafflo plays Samus, not his main. And obviously the same thing goes for Steve. But Samus might be the most represented character on this list with all secondaries, which is interesting. Because I don't think Samus, like a lot of people wouldn't have Samus in their top 10, probably because the character isn't top 10, but that character is very good and very good in tournament. So it just shows the kind of alt meta right now at the super top level. Like, you only have 2 Foxes, but we have a Fox in the top 5. You have 1 Pichu, you have 1 Marth, which is Riziasu. I know it is. That's crazy that there's a Marth in the top 100. We have Ices in here. It just shows how balanced of a game Ultimate is. Like, the most we have is 6. Like, that's pretty good considering how broken people thought Steve would be. That's pretty decent. So starting off with the hidden bosses, we have Desmona, Etsuji, Quid, Scar, and Wrath. These are all players that are absolutely incredible and probably top 100. They just didn't attend enough events here, and then maybe one of them is like 101. I'm not actually sure, but these are all amazing players. I think if we saw more Wrath and Quid especially, they'd probably both be top 30 players. Quid definitely would. Hype to see him at Let's Make Big Moves this weekend. Scar and Desmona also show insane amount of potential, and Etsuji has these insane highs. God, I wish we saw more Etsuji because his Diddy is unreal. But starting with the number 100, we have Sigma as 100, 99 is Ye, 98 Shinji, 97 Abadongo, 96 Leon, 95 Aiken, 94 Tarek, 93 Axiom, Mugen 92, and Atada 91, which is pretty interesting. I think the only player here that I'm like super surprised to see is honestly Ye, just because we didn't really see him at a ton of majors this year, but I think he's been doing very well on the regional side. And obviously Ye is a top 100 player, like undisputed. That guy is absolutely unreal, and he's someone that I think out of everyone in the level 100 or like the 100 area to level up, I think it's him, Abadongo, and Leon. I think have the highest chances for 2023 if they just have a good year to all of them be in that top 50. Obviously Leon and Abadongo have done it before, and I think Ye has the potential to do it as well because he is just a phenomenal player. Now for the 90s, we have Wadi, Shirayuki, Quandale, Yanni, Leah, Icy Miss, Repo, Vendetta, Esam, and Toast. I think players that could go up in this tier is Esam, pretty obviously. I mean, he's like a caliber top 15, 20 player before. I think he can do it again in 2023. I also think Shirayuki, even though Inkling isn't great in the current meta, could rise because he's just phenomenal, as well as Steve players. Maybe people are figuring out Steve, but also Steve Tech gets better. So they could like honestly fluctuate. Yanni and Quandale could fluctuate up super high or fluctuate down super low. I wouldn't be surprised for either, because I think for Steve, there's going to be Steve players that are pulling ahead in 2023, and I wouldn't be surprised if these were 2 of them that did. Leah as well, I feel like we just didn't see a ton of him this year, so if we see more, I think he goes up in 2023. Honestly, every single player within this 90 to 80 tier has like probably the most improvement out of like any single like kind of tier on this list, which is fairly interesting. A lot of these players just didn't go to a ton of stuff or underperform when they did go. So I think for 2023, we'll see a lot of them within the top 50. Next up is the 80 to 71. We have Ling, Shiny Mark, Waka, Dio, Leon, Peebnut, Kome, MK Big Boss, Lugi, and Monty. Now, forget about what I said about 80 being the tier where everyone improves. 70 to 80 is the tier where everyone improves. Because, oh my God, Monty, Lugi, Shiny Mark, Waka, they're all probably top 50 players. They just don't go to like anything. I mean, Lugi does, but he's kind of stuck in Europe, unfortunately. But he won a major this year with Luigi, which is crazy. Kome and Peebnut, they're both also incredible. MK Big Boss, Ling, like Dio, all these players here, Leon, I feel like I forgot Leon. All these players here have such high highs, and I think if they just figure out some consistency things, they are all going to be such prominent threats, especially, again, Shiny Mark Waka. They barely go to anything, but they have so much potential as players. I really hope we get to see more of them in 2023. Up next is 70 to 61. We have T3 Dom, Yara, Gyarados King, Base Mage, Lima, Raflo, Super Semi, Rox, Masa, and MVD. I'm surprised Rox and T3 Dom are this high, not because they're not these type of caliber of players, but just because I feel like they didn't go to a ton of stuff. We did have Rox having a really good run at Smash Factor, and then T3 Dom getting some reps in at Summit as well always helps. So those are probably where some points from regionals as well, of course, are something to factor, but both those players are incredible, as well as Masa, Super Semi having really good years. Raflo and Yara, I think, are players that could improve such an exponential amount in 2023 that like they could both honestly be top 30, top 20 in the world, especially for Yara. That guy is good. Gyarados King, Base Mage, Lima, all showing some very promising results. Same thing with MVD. I feel like MVD just had like honestly a rough year, and when your rough year is 61, that is crazy. Also, he didn't go to like that much stuff, all things considered, so I hope we can see more of MVD. All of these players honestly within this tier, because there's a lot of them that are hidden bosses, especially Super Semi. I feel like people do not realize how good Super Semi is. Like the 70-61 tier, these players are all phenomenal. I think they all have incredible amounts of potential, just like everyone on this list. But like Yara especially, he's in that 69 spot. He's going to be in that 9 spot next year. Like, oh my God, Yara's good. It's insane. Up next is that 60 to 51 tier. We have Larry Lure, Syrup, Skyjay, Quick, Teaser, Nico, Goblin, Shattuck, Neotono, and Myron. We had a couple breakout years for these players like Shattuck and Syrup. This was definitely their best years in Ultimate, getting their first top 8s. Quick and Teaser being the Samus boys right next to each other. And honestly, I think if Quick went to more stuff, he would be way higher. Like that E-Carabiner run was inspirational. Larry Lure has 2 wins on Leo, and he's only top 60. That is what it takes to be top 60 in Ultimate. This game is vicious. Skyjay's top 60 with Incineroar, like it is unreal. Nico doing it with a very, very hard character like Shulk, but still very broken. I'm not going to lie about that. But Shulk is not easy to be piloting at a top level, and Nico's doing it consistently. Goblin had an amazing year. Neotono won Phantom, did very well for himself. And then Myron, of course, got a couple top 8s this year, got a wins on a bunch of PGR players. Like Myron is absolutely incredible, and I think honestly he'll probably go higher in 2023. He's a little bit of an inconsistent player. At least he was in 2022, but like his highs are very, very strong. Some of the best highs like we've ever seen out of Olimar players, and being one of the best Olimars in the world is not an easy title to get when you're fighting against DeBuzz, Shuton, Subo, 34 Army. Like there's a bunch of insane Olimar players, and Myron is, I think, the highest solo main Olimar on this list, so he should be pretty happy with that. Up next is the top 50 to 41 tier. We have Rizziasu, Passeriman, Fatality, Send, Jag, Aaron, Skittles, Alendis, Hikaru, and Puppe. Alendis being top 43 in the world makes me so happy because he is unreal and is not recognized nearly enough. Alendis is crazy. Same thing with Skittles, Puppe, Aaron. Honestly, half the players on here are just like these underrated behemoths of the game that are getting some love. Like they are all absolutely amazing. I think 2023 is going to be Aaron's year. Mark my words, he is going to do insane this year. Rizziasu and Passeriman as well, just doing very good in Japan. I think if they went to more stuff, they'd be higher. Hikaru, I feel like, had a blow up this year. Like he's always been a good top player, but I feel like this is definitely his best year. Same thing with Chag, Send, they're just incredible. Then you have Fatality and Puppe being this like old guard, and honestly Puppe I feel like was someone that definitely flew under my radar this year, but he's been doing very, very well. He's gotten a bunch of good wins, and he's also just an absolutely phenomenal player, still repping the PT with like bless his heart because that character is still broken, and I think everyone here is just unreal. I mean, they're top 50 in the world in the Echo ranking, so they got to be pretty good, right? On to that 40 to 31 tier, we have Ned, Tilde, Anathema, Jake, Osimo, Gact, Ouch, Hito, Siski, and Luis. So Tilde won a major this year, and he's 39th. Again, being top in Ultimate is very, very hard. You have Ned, who won Back in Blood 5, which is a super big regional. Like, that was a very, very good run for him. Anathema having some of the best losers runs of the year. Jake as well having some insane runs, getting a bunch of amazing PGR wins. Osimo, same thing. Like, Jake and Osimo had phenomenal years, definitely some big blow up years for them. Gak as well, just again a very underrated player for the most part. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about him when they're talking about Japan's best, in contention for best Nest in the world right now. And then according to this list, rated as the highest Nest, which is honestly probably right because Gak is really good. Ouch as well being that 34 spot. Again, if Aaron's year is 2023, then Ouch's year is also 2023. They can share it because Ouch is going to go crazy. And he already is. 34 in the world is really good. He's an incredible player. Bunch of PGR wins. He has wins on Shuton Riddles. Like, Ouch is so good. Hito as well, one of Japanese best players. Like, God, I wish we could see Hito travel more, or just hope more at all. I really hope we see him in NA one day because he for sure gets that top 8 slot. Siski and Luis as well, just being like staples of that like top 8 area. Like, they are just so amazing. They can beat anyone. And I think, again, 2023, they could have these massive level ups that push them within to the top 10 because they are that close. Like, the distance between 31 and like honestly, like 7 is not that far away. Like, then it gets a little far, but like everyone is incredibly close together. These players are amazing. Onto that 30 to 21 range, we have Kameme, Mudace, Mars, Apollo Kage, Yoshidora, Jackal, Ken, Cosmos, Bloom Forever, and Zamba. And of this tier, we've had Mars, Ken, Cosmos, and Bloom all win majors. That is unreal. These players are so good. And you have Zomba, who's basically always in top 8. He's been going to like a million tournaments this year, so he definitely deserves that spot because he's been doing well at basically all of them. Mudace as well with these incredibly high highs. Same thing with Kameme. Even though they've had some lackluster performances, like, they can literally beat anyone, and I'm not over-exaggerating. Like, any player in the game, even Leo, these players can beat. They are insane. Apollo Kage as well has had just this massive, like, steady like success rate. Just the line is going up. And I know Aaron and Ouch already are sharing 2023. It's getting a little crowded, but we gotta slide Apollo Kage in there because listen, he is way too good for him not to do big things in 2023. Same with Yoshidora. If we just saw more of him, and Jackal, honestly, if we just see more of Yoshidora and Jackal starts getting that consistency that he's started to find towards the end of the year, like, these players are going to be top 10 contenders, serious threats, like more than they already are. And I'm so excited for it because everyone in this tier is just phenomenal. On to that 20 to 11 tier, we have Big D, Didi, Mia, Meister, Zach Ray, Kurama, Protobana, Gluttony, DeBuzz, and Cola. Now, Big D at 20th makes a lot of sense just because he has like half the top 10 in his PGR wins. He is incredible, and he's just had some really high highs as well. Super excited to see him at main stage. DD is a bit of an oddity because he's just hard to rank, but I feel like he's done well enough at the regionals for the spot to be somewhat justified. His Momocon run was still very good. Like, he got a bunch of amazing wins there, and he's also a player, like, if we just saw more of him, he would probably be in that top 20 spot. I put him in like the same tier as Quid, but I think he just went to more regionals, so he was in contention for it. Mia as well. Mia and Meister, I'm honestly surprised that Mia isn't above Meister just because of like how his highs are going, but Meister does have a couple better wins. Like, Meister has a Leo win, as well as Mia having some very bad performances, so it does make sense. Zachary as well having some very bad performances, but also he won 2 majors in 2022. Like, Zachary is really good. Kurama being top 15 makes perfect sense. Like, Kurama is crazy. And I know we already have 3 people in 2023, but what's 3? 3 is just such an ugly number. We might as well have 4 in there with Karama. Proto Bottom has a couple rough performances keeping him out of that top 10 slot. I still have him personally within that top 10, but Proto is very good. Gluttony as well, same thing. Couple rough performances keeping him out of top 10, but he's won majors over Leo. He has like a bunch of set wins on Leo, as well as other top 10 players, top 5 players. Like, Gluttony is insane. DeBuzz and Cola are like the strongest gatekeepers that I feel like we've ever seen, at least in Ultimate's lifetime. Like, if you are below these players, it is very hard for you to beat them. Like, DeBuzz and Cola are unreal. Cola's won a major. DeBuzz has gotten second at a bunch, and he's probably going to get his win within 2023. Like, it is literally bound to happen, maybe even this weekend. Like, both these players are unreal, and I could definitely see them within a lot of people's top 10s or being within top 10 next year. Literally every single player within this top 20 I could see being in people's top 10s or being in contention for top 10 this year. That is how close it is in Ultimate right now. Everyone is just so good. Now, on to that top 10, and I think the top 10 is honestly pretty decent. We have Riddles at that 10th spot, Sonics at 9th, Shootone at 8th, Tweak at 7th, Onin at 6th, T at 5th, Light at 4th, Aquila at 3rd, Leo at 2nd, and Spargo at first. Now, I am doing my top 10 rankings tomorrow, so I won't spend the time on the specific placements of where I would actually put people, because spoilers, but 8 out of the 10 people that are on here I have in my top 10, and all of these players are deserving of top 10. Riddles won a major. Sonics won a major. Shootone won a major. Tweak won a major. You get the point. Every single player here has won a major this season. That is 10 players in the top 10 winning a major, and then also a bunch of these people have also won majors. Like, Ultimate's talent, skill right now, the pool is spread so wide. It is so sick to see. Riddles being insane with that Kazuya. Like, when Riddles Kazuya is playing on peak, he is like top 5 easily. Like, top 5. Riddles Kazuya is the best Kazuya in the world when it's playing the best. Though Tease does play better, more consistently, I will say. He just almost always hits the combos, but I think Riddles neutral is just crazy with that character. Sonics as well. Like, he gets gate kept by a couple of these like top 5 players, but he is incredible. He's so consistent. I think he had like maybe one bad performance throughout the entire year at SmashCon. Like, he is almost always within that top 10. Shootone is behind Spargo, probably the most consistent player in the world. Maybe actually behind Leo as well, but he's definitely third. Like, Shootone does not have bad tournaments. He can beat basically anyone. He's positive on Leo this season, which is always nice. That 3-0 at Smash World Tour or Scuff World Tour was clean. Tweak as well have like such an amazing year, even though he had a bit of a weak middle. Like, his end and start were just unreal, and I think going into 2023, he's going to be aiming for that best spot in NA and potentially the world. Onin as well, this top 6 spot is super deserving. I mean, he won the biggest open major of the year in SmashCon. Like, this is a monumental year for him, and honestly, I think the thing rather holding him back is some regionals. He's done bad at some regionals, like nothing like super terrible, and then the start of the season as well was a little rough for him, but like if you only include the latter end of Onin's 2022 season, he's probably like top 5. Onin is crazy good. At 5th place, we have T, one of the most fundamentally solid players we've ever seen in Ultimate, and that Kazuya and Pac-Man combo works so well for him, and I feel like him alone, because both those characters are pretty technical. Kazuya definitely less so, you just kind of need to know the combos, but Pac-Man, you need to know a lot of stuff, and T does it excruciatingly well. Like, T is unreal. He's won a major in 3 major regions. That is like every major continent in Smash he has won a major at, which is pretty insane. Like, he's just traveling a ton this year. He's the king of Europe, of course. Like, T is unreal, and he could honestly shoot for best player in Japan next year. Like, that is how good he is, even potentially taking it from Aquila, because God bless, T is amazing. At 4th and 3rd, we have Light and Aquila, which I think is probably pretty typical. I think this is what most people have them at. I could see Aquila being moved up to 2 and Light being moved down to 5th for like maybe, I don't know, Shootone, maybe Onin. But I think that is pretty typical, so we won't spend as much time on it. But the TLDR of it is, yeah, they both deserve those spots because they're both incredible players. Both of them have won majors. Both of them have wins on basically every single top 10 player. And both of them can only improve within 2023. But here we are, the reason that most people probably clicked on this video, Spargo versus MKLeo, and Spargo taking that number 1 slot. Now, from a purely numbers point, this is just true. Spargo has been more consistent than Leo this year. He has better lows and the same highs, basically, even though Leo did win a bigger tournament in LSI. They both won Super Majors and Majors, respectively. They're both incredible. Spargo is 100% in the top 8s, and then Leo, I think, missed only Smash Summit, where he got, like, 9th. So, they're both unreal, but Spargo is just more consistent. They both have basically the same amount of wins. I think the head-to-head may be favoring Leo still, but Spargo, from a number standpoint, being number 1 in the world, makes a lot of sense. But I still respect Leo too much to put him at that number 2 spot, and I would still regard him as the best player in the world. Just looking at peak Leo versus peak Spargo, I do think Leo is still ahead right now, but this is very whimsical, and what I mean by that, because that's not the right word, is I could be swayed on this easily. If Spargo, like, destroys Leo at Let's Make Big Moves and it's not close, or like even if it is close and he just beats him twice, Spargo's the best player in the world. It is so close between them right now, tooth and nail. This is the closest it's ever been in Ult's like history. Like we said, it was close at LSI. It is not nearly as close as right now. Spargo and Leo. This is such a sick story. Both these players are incredible and 100% deserving of that top 2 slot. They are absolutely unreal, and I cannot wait to see the storyline that goes into them with 2023. And that's it. That is the Echo ranking. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This was a super fun ranking to do. Again, please check out this article because it is just so cool. There's just so much fun numbers here. You can see the tournaments that they did. We get like looking at Owen, it's like, oh, here's some bad tournaments for him. Here's a really good tournament for him at SmashCon. It shows how much they matter towards their total percentage. It is just this. It's just so cool. Please check it out. Again, huge shouts to Kaneki and Echo ranking. It's an incredible thing to look at. Always love people make the ranking. Again, the top 10 ranking and then mentions to top 20. It's going to be mainly focusing on top 10, but we will mention the top 20 players in the world tomorrow. At least in my opinion, that's coming out. Get hype, get loud. Thank you guys for watching. Sport's been absolutely unreal. If there's a player that you want me to go more in depth on, I think we covered everyone at least a little. Probably not enough as they probably deserve, because there's 100 people here and we ain't even got 100 minutes. So again, thank you for watching. Sport's been absolutely unreal lately. If you guys have any ideas, please let me know down below. And thank you for everything, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.